we are live with this edition of School Police Talk. We have some different people here today.
Yep.
Please introduce yourself and tell us what you do for the Clark County School District.
Well, I'm Elise Pearson. I am the Senior Director of Development and Community Engagement with Special Olympics. So part of that, I oversee our law enforcement program, and school police is a huge part of that and what we do in reaching our students with special needs, as well as helping to fundraise for our programming in general.
And you, sir, are?
I'm Lieutenant Brian Zink with the Clark County School District Police Department. I'm the Public Information Officer and one of the Operations Lieutenants.
He sometimes sits on the side.
Yeah, a lot
right?
of time.
But he brings the most fantastic people, right?
That's why he brought me.
Right. I agree with you 100%. And the thing is that part of what the School Police Talk is about is talking about things that people don't really get a chance to see. People don't get a chance to have questions. And so we always want to show the school police in the most fantastic light. And then by doing stuff with the Olympics like you do, it's the most wonderful thing. And so tell us about the organization and how people can get involved.
Yeah, so Special Olympics, we are working to provide an inclusive community. So inclusive opportunities for individuals with intellectual disabilities. We do that through a lot of different ways. So our main pillars are we have our general sports program, our community sports. We have a schools program, which we help serve our students with and without disability. We have a health program, and where we offer free health screenings and education and everything that encompasses there, including mental health. And we also have a leadership program. And as part of what we do is it's called the Law Enforcement Torch Run. It's a huge international program for Special Olympics. We are lucky enough here in Nevada that Lieutenant Zink here is our state director. So he's like our top dog as far as cops go. He helps me and guides the program and really helps other law enforcement agencies and increase school police engagement and involvement through volunteering, helping with students, helping with our athletes, medaling, and then again the fundraising aspect of it as well.
So Brian says, Lieutenant Zink says to me, listen, I have the most wonderful guest, okay? And because he believes in the organization.
Yeah.
One of the wonderful things about the school police, the Clark County School Police, right, is from the chief down, right? I've been asking Lieutenant Zink, that we should do something for a little bit of time. And then finally it came that it was very exciting. And the chief came and he sat for the first show. And he's been on the second time. And Lieutenant Zink is the proponent of pushing the school police talk because it's so important to him. So tell us, when it comes to the PIO and your role, what it is that you do, and then as what you do with the Special Olympics.
Yeah, so as the Public Information Officer of the department, my job is to work a couple different facets. One, to be the liaison between the police department and the communications department for the Clark County School District, who we work for, and then also to work with local media, either to answer questions or to promote a lot of the programs and the great things that we do in the community. A lot of people think that it's all law enforcement, 90% of what we do is bad or is looked at as bad because we're arresting people and taking people into custody, but that's not true. Most of what we do is community outreach, providing services for our community, being there to support our community, being there to provide a safe, nurturing learning environment for our staff and students so that our kids can come to our schools for 180 days and learn as much as they absolutely can, and so that our staff can feel comfortable and safe teaching the kids. But then another huge component of it, and it's part of every law enforcement agency, is that community engagement, the community involvement. And with the help of Elise for 10 years now?
Gosh, it's been a long time.
12 years now at Special Olympics, as long as you've been there?
9.
9 years. It's really ramped up our involvement with that program because like Elise said, our big focus is the Law Enforcement Torch Run. and then all the monies that are raised through the torch run go directly into the Special Olympics program, so that every single athlete gets to do it for 100% free. They don't get charged to participate in all the different. How many sports are you guys up to now in the state?
We have 7 sports, 14 competitions.
Right, 14. Yeah, so it's a lot, and these are events and things that these kids and adults would normally not be able to be involved with if it wasn't for one, the involvement from law enforcement across the state, across the nation, across the world, and then also local companies that support the events that they facilitate and we do. And it just really gives us the opportunity, one, either to participate in the torch run, to come to the games, present medals to these kids, these athletes, and then to participate in other fundraising things, which I'm sure Elise will talk about, our Tippa Cup, which we have coming up next week.
Yeah, it's super
which
fun.
is another one of those fun events that we get to do when we partner with the athletes and we partner with Special Olympics to raise funds for the fantastic program.
Well, there you go. There's the lead
There's
into
my
what
segue.
it is. Good.
Yeah, we have a lot. We're at the end of the year, so we do year-round programming, and that is for our sports, schools, and for our fundraising efforts. So we are kind of winding down, but it doesn't feel like it, right? So November 1st, we have our law enforcement torch run, which all the Southern Nevada agencies are engaged in, from the city marshals to school police to LVMPD. We have a lot of great engagement there. And
Don't
we
forget Metro.
I said LVMPD.
Oh, you did. I'm sorry. I thought you said NLVPD, but yeah, and HPD.
Them too.
Yeah, them too.
North Las
Everybody.
Vegas, everybody.
Yeah.
Everyone. So we have a lot of great law enforcement support around that, and a lot of great sponsors, which you are one of them. So we're, big shout out to that.
Yeah.
But we also have on October 23rd, we have my favorite Tippa Cop event. So a Tippa Cop is where we partner with local restaurants and we ask officers to go and be celebrity wait staff. And they go into these restaurants with our athletes and they just share what Special Olympics is about and why they're there. And they say, hey, in addition to whatever you're leaving your server, anything you choose to give us goes directly to the program. And it does. But the one
Super
this
easy.
month is super fun because
man.
it's at Lazy Dogs on Pavilion Center, and we have all eight
Six?
lawn.
Yeah, we'll have all of our canine there.
All however many there are.
Yeah.
All the school police canine will be there at the restaurant helping. So it's Tippa Canine instead of Tippa Cop. So it's really fun. So it's one of my favorite Tippa Cop events.
And through their corporate partnership, it's super easy too, because our officers don't even have to go in the restaurant and bug the people while they're eating. They just have to say at the end of the meal, hey, I would like to donate to Tippa Cop. And then the restaurant actually donates money every time a patron says that. The company donates money to Special Olympics, so the people eating don't have to unless they want to. They can leave a donation on their way in or their way out. So it's another one of those fantastic corporate partnerships where the patron just basically has to say, is like, hey, I love Special Olympics, and we're gonna they're gonna get money. They're gonna get a donation. So it's fantastic.
And you touched on something, which is that most people see the law enforcement when it comes to the Clark County School District Police, and they go, oh, those people are just out there just bothering people, and they're doing all these things. And you're there, and we've had so many people come on and talk about the preventive measures and the training and these type of things that the school police does, so that we hopefully don't have these type of problems. And so the Clark County School District has gone through many different things to try to curb the violence. We had the canines come on last week, and they talked specifically about the guns and how they can smell, and you know what I mean, and it's very fascinating. And so that's one of the cool things about the school police, the Clark County School District Police, right? Is that when it comes to that, the Clark County School District is the number 5 school district in the country. And so your job is very mind sensitive, because you have to deal with so many different things to ensure that the school and all the staffing and the kids are safe, right? Aside from dealing with children with disabilities and things like this, which sometimes have special needs, which is a whole separate entity.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is. And it's all about engagement. our officers getting out there, being participating at their school, either if they're assigned to the school or on campus. So we're very unique in that sense that we're not answering calls for service in the community like burglaries and robberies and cats stuck in trees and things like that. Our officers are trained to engage with the students and the staff, and then ultimately also with the parents, because it's all a collaborative, right? You can't have a safe community and a safe schools unless you have the students, the parents, the staff, us all involved in it together. So I mean, that's one of our main jobs, is to kind of bridge that gap all together so that we can all provide the best services possible for the kids. I mean, and we're always talking about, that a lot of the focus is always on the school safety, and it's the staff and it's us, but it also it takes the community. And we do really appreciate a lot of the support and the buy-in that we do get from the local community and the parents as well, because ultimately the kids do spend more time with their mom and dad or whomever they live with than they do with us. So we do always encourage them to be more involved or get involved as much as possible with the school itself, and then in their own children's lives to, keep them going down the same path that we're trying to guide them down, so that they can, become good citizens and get that education that they deserve and they need.
Yeah, and one of the cool things was we had the dog come on. That was the therapy dog.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. That was Eddie. Yep.
And then we have the people that bridge the gap, right?
Yeah.
The social workers that are there to help people now, which is a very unique thing that the Clark County School District Police does, because sometimes, especially with children with disabilities, there might be special needs. And in those special needs, sometimes things can get very expensive. And so sometimes there needs to be a little bit of help, and the social workers and stuff like that that the Clark County School District Police has are really there for people that really need a little bit of extra help too.
Yeah, and we actually, with Special Olympics, Brian was a huge part in helping this become a reality. We have what's called the Mindset Matters program, and that is a mental health resources that we provide for free to schools across Nevada. We've even started providing it for other nonprofit organizations who have schools programs as well, and it is created per age group, and it is for our students who, a teacher can introduce it into their classroom, and they can have, let's have a mindful minute, and it's really just about the mental health and safety of our students, and because it's something that I think here in Nevada we are trying to do better, and we as an organization want to help fill in those gaps. Where we might be a little short in this area with Special Olympics. Our basis is sports, but we want to be there for a community with intellectual disabilities. And even then we have our unified program, which is where we put individuals with a disability and individuals without a disability, and they compete together in one team against other teams built the same way. And the idea behind that is to increase mental health as well as reduce bullying. We're trying to break that separation. And School Police was one of our largest advocates when creating that program, the Mindset Matters program, and launching it in our schools, making it available for any teacher, any administration who would like it.
When 25 years ago, right before people had computers or whatever it might have been, but the thing is that maybe somebody got in a fist fight, or maybe somebody screamed at somebody, or whatever the situation was. But the difference is that in today's world, when it comes to the internet and these type of things, it's opened the world up to this bullying, and there can be silent bullying, that I see on the TV. And so it's not that, we're going to school today and we're going to learn 2 + 2 = 4. There's a lot of different things that are out there. And so the school police has a very tough job, but they make it very seamless. And so the thing is, from the general public, you might hear of mitigated problems, or things like this that might happen at a school just because of a certain individual, or these type of things. But the thing is that you always hear that the school police is there. You hear that the school police has understood what the problem is, and they're always trying to make, if there was a problem, to fix it so that there is not this problem again. And that comes back to the training, and all the officers that work for the Clark County School District Police, even though that it's the summer and most people are off, they're training. You know what I mean? And they're doing things because when it comes to the school year and the 180 days, right? They have they can't be wrong. They have to be on their game every single day, right?
Yep, 100%. That's a very good point. Like you said, you know, a lot of people think that we're off during the summertime, or most of our department officers are off, but we're not. Like you said, we are training. We also get the opportunity to assign a lot of our officers to go work with other agencies, also North Las Vegas and Metro, and different aspects of law enforcement, so they can get training and work on that collaboration and the partnership. So it is very important to note that we are here 365 days a year. Most of us, 90% of us almost, are here. We do have some 11-month officers that do take that month off for a break, but most people want to work and continue to grow. So, yeah.
And when it comes to the Special Olympics, okay, so you mentioned the torch run, right? Okay. So what else is on the agenda for the rest of the year when it comes to the Special Olympics?
Oh, goodness. So we have one more sport that is still, we have our golf tournament that is for our athletes. So that is our competition that we have left. We also have this weekend, we have 2 events on Saturday.
Wow.
So we have a First Responders Truck Pull, which is the first annual. This year we only opened it up to first responders, and so it's exactly what it sounds like. We just got you a tug of war rope, and you just pull a corrections bus or a SWAT vehicle as fast as you can with your team. We were able to partner with, you know, School Police and North Las Vegas Police, LVMPD, the Nevada Department of Corrections is also helping with that, and Cowabunga Bay, which is one of our most like stout supporters as far as a venue. We host our largest annual event every first quarter with Cowabunga. So we have that Saturday on the 19th, and also we are doing our torch run in Nye County. So the Nye County Sheriff's Office over the course of the last 2 years have really stepped up their engagement and have been amazing in supporting us. And then we have our Tip a Cop on October 23rd. We have our Clark County torch run on November 1st. And then you and I are going to Texas, but I can't think of anything else going on at the end of the year.
Wrap out the end of the year, yeah.
And just maybe have Santa visit. You know, we have a Santa in-house, so I take him around to visit certain things. But yeah, other than that, I think we close it out.
Yeah. And what's the website address if people want to go and get more information or make a huge donation?
SONV.org. If you want to make a huge or small donation, you can go there, or my contact information is right there. We're always looking for supporters. You know, pretty much we have everything we offer our athletes is free. And all the mental health support we give our officers, keeping them engaged, is free also. So we are 100% free programming for our athletes, and anywhere that they participate, from our schools program to our leadership program.
Yeah, and that's what, and I think that's one of the things that's very important. You know, a lot of organizations, you know, they say, you know, a certain percentage of the money goes to, you know, paying and this and that and all this type of stuff. And, you know, it's very important, because just as we want all of our children to be safe, and our teachers and all that type of stuff, you know, when it comes to children that have special needs, you know, we want to ensure that, you know, they can enjoy as much as they possibly can by doing things with the Special Olympics. It really opens the door that, you know, families don't have to worry, you know, oh, I can't participate this time or this Saturday or whatever it be, because they don't have the funds. And so it's a wonderful thing. Yeah,
and I mean, we're really working to erase that stigma that there was around intellectual disabilities. That's not the world we live in anymore. Inclusion is
100%.
so important, and to have support of law enforcement behind that movement is so huge, because they are so looked up at, they are so admired, and then to be able to offer them sort of a mental health release as well is just like, it's not something that can be measured, but to feel kind of like we're being mutually beneficial is really great.
Yeah, no, it is. And the other great thing about the program too is that a child can begin at what age?
So we have a young athletes program, so athletes can begin at 2 to 7, working on cognitive skills, hand-eye coordination, and that's unified. I have a first grader who is in that program since he was 2, and he does not have special needs, but he did it alongside individuals with special needs, and I don't think he even realizes when we bring him out. It's just he's with his buddies now.
Yeah. And then how long can they stay in the program?
I think I'm funny, so I have a couple different sayings. I won't say them here, though. But we say 8 to 80.
Yeah,
You can start
exactly.
at 2, but we have no cutoff date. So as long as you want to and you're able to, we don't ever cut you out.
I mean, and the nice thing about Special Olympics too, and it was really brought home at the last conference that we went to, was the one woman who got up there and talked about it. She got started in it later in her teens, right? But then she's like 70 now.
Yeah.
And she's been involved.
Loretta.
Yeah, Loretta. Involved. I mean, her story was just amazing, how it went from a very sad, tragic life to where she's addressing this huge conference with, 3,000 people, and just brought the whole room to tears because her story was so inspirational. And it was because that she was able to participate in Special Olympics that it completely changed her life. And then you just think of all the people from the point where she got started to the point where she addressed us, all the other people whose lives she affected throughout that time period because of what was provided to her through Special Olympics. So we just want people to understand it's just not for kids and high school kids. You can be involved in the program as long as you want, and it just ultimately makes us a better community because then you have everybody engaged. Athletes come out to support us supporting them, and it builds that relationship and the friendships. I mean, there's people in the program now that I've known for, definitely for 9 years since we got together, that we see all the time at the torch run, at the Tippecop. They come out, and moms who know me now, that we're friends on Facebook and social media, and they'll tell me how their kids are doing, or hey, my son's turning 21, he'd love for you to come to his birthday party, things like that. So it's just another great way for us to be involved in the community in a 100% positive way. I mean, there's no negative side to being involved with Special Olympics. It's just amazing.
And in law enforcement, typically, in a generalized scenario, right, you deal with a lot. And one of the biggest problems that we have in law enforcement, in a generalized setting, right, is that there is no release. And so mental health is so important.
Very much, yes.
And so when it comes to that, most law enforcement agencies have some form of mental health area, so that if an officer is going through something or wants to speak or whatever, that at least they have an advocate that is not going to hold them a hurtfulness, that they're just going to be able to speak. And so to be able to have that, and then be able to have that within an organization, is a tremendous partnership.
Yeah, you're speaking of the wellness programs that I think every department now, hopefully in the country, has, because law enforcement for so long kind of never really addressed mental health of police and dispatchers and police staff in general. It was kind of that dark secret. It's like, basically like suck it up. It's part of your job. But we've learned over time that that's not healthy. And that's not healthy in any aspect of anybody's career, just let alone law enforcement. But it's taken law enforcement a little bit of time to catch up to the fact that if you have mentally healthy police officers, they're better for the community as a whole, because they're not taking out anger, frustration, aggression on the people that they're there to serve and help, because they're learning how to deal with it themselves. You can go through a traumatic event and just think that it's fine, and then it may not pick up, it may not manifest itself until later in life. So it's better to deal with it right after it happens, so that it's hopefully over, and probably never completely over and done with, but you're given coping skills and mechanisms to identify when you're being triggered and you need to stop. I mean, and it's just, like I said, it's just not law enforcement. That's everywhere in the community now. It's really, the focus on mental health has just been amazing. But definitely volunteerism is always one of those things that every wellness bureau pushes, is to get away from what you do normally and do something different. But the nice thing about volunteering with the Special Olympics is that these kids love us. They love us.
Kids.
I mean, adults or athletes. I'm sorry.
Right.
The thing with our Special Olympics athletes is they absolutely love us and look up to us because of what we wear. So I can show up dressed like this,
Right.
knowing that I'm not going to be judged as like, oh, he's a cop, he's here to be mean, or he's going to hurt me, or he hurt my friend. They accept us with open arms and just love us for who we are and what we do. And so again, like I said, showing up in uniform at that event, it's never stressful. It's never stressful at all. It's always welcome and engaging, and it's definitely a good thing. So we always say, if you're not going to volunteer with Special Olympics, we want you to, but volunteer with something else. To have that outlet, get away from what you do normally, and go and do something different.
Yeah, I'm partial. Like, I'm not exactly objective, and I think my athletes are wonderful. But one of the largest testimonies I hear from law enforcement and who engage are, the athletes see me as a person.
100%.
And even behind the uniform. So you're in your uniform, and the athlete, they see them as truly a person and who they are, someone, just not that person. And
Right.
we've had situations where we had an officer who was the only representative for his agency at every Special Olympics event. And he was awesome. He's one of the best people ever. But for a while, he was the only one being called out to scenes where they would have someone with an intellectual disability, because he was the only one who had that rapport already built up. And his agency saw that, and they started making steps to engage more so their officers could be more prepared to de-escalate similar situations. And it wasn't all on him. But yeah, like I said, the one big thing I hear from officers is they see me. They see past like the blue lights. They
Right.
see past, they ask about my kids. They want to know. And for me, I get to kind of stand as like this third party and watch the relationship. It's really neat. Like I like, picking out little things.
Yeah, it's good.
And the thing is that when it comes to people, in generalize, right? We start off as kids and then we grow into adults. And so one of the things that's really cool is, just like in your profession, right? You start off as a brand new officer and you're a lieutenant. And so you have people that work underneath you. And so it's all about the mentorship to help and shape those officers
Right.
into being better officers. So when I hear something about someone who is 70 years old giving a speech, this mentorship of showing that someone can be this age and be able to do these things is very important.
Oh, absolutely. It is. And I think a lot of people ask, like, why do you get into law enforcement? And we always say that you have to have a heart to want to serve your community. You have to want to do this job, because it can get tough. It can get, a little depressing at sometimes. But again, just having that outlet to be able to do something positive, to show up and like Elise said, and not be judged for who you are, what you do, and be welcomed in by a community. It's just amazing. And it's just not the athletes, it's their parents, it's the other people who are involved in the program that are all just so appreciative. And it's just being able to just go and just be yourself and hang out and have fun. It's a lot of fun. And then you do get to meet other law enforcement partners throughout the state. That's the great thing about the conferences that we do. Actually, we get to meet people from around the world that are almost the exact same mindset that we have, because we're all there for the same reason. We're all there to help promote and keep this program going, because ultimately it just benefits society as a whole, because everybody's engaged and happy.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So again, go over again of how someone can help or donate, what the website is. Please tell us that information.
Yeah, so you can find all the information you need, from becoming a volunteer, a coach, engaging as an officer, engaging as a sponsor, or becoming an athlete on our website at sonv.org. We are driven by community support and volunteer support. We are a very small staff, and we serve about through 2,800 athletes here in the state, just in our general sports program, a lot more in our schools program. So we are definitely made possible by the support of our community. For sponsorships, reach out directly to me. My information is right there on the website.
Just pick up the phone.
I'm there for you.
Easy for you.
And also, you have the opportunity, if you're not in that sort of position, just to participate. We have fundraising events happening all the time. Like I said, before, right now we're kind of winding down the year, but we have that Tip-A-Cop on the 23rd of October, and starting bright and early next year, I think we just set our plunge date for April 26th of next year. So come out and participate in a fundraiser. We do plunge, we do a bowling fundraiser, we do multiple Tip-A-Cops throughout the year. We have a lot going on. On the website you can see our calendar, you can be added to our mailing list, follow us on social media. That's really the first steps, is just going to the website, finding us on social media, and we can figure out how to move forward from there.
Yeah, and if you're a local business and you want to sponsor a Tip-A-Cop event, you can reach out to them that way. And then, Elise, what about companies that may want to do like in-kind donations, like water or athletic equipment?
Right.
Can they also reach out to you guys
My
that
information's on the website.
So just don't think
Any way that you can help.
so just don't think they need money, because you can donate money, but if they hold an event, they still have to go out and buy snacks and water and things like that to provide to the athletes. So if you want to do something like water or snacks or athletic equipment, things like that, anything like that is always welcome, because then it doesn't take money away from the program to support the program if you give them the things that they need to keep it going.
Yeah, and we're always looking for volunteers and coaches.
Yep.
And I was just going to ask, so if you're in a law enforcement agency or something like that does not participate.
We're always looking for liaisons.
Well, then.
I mean, like what I'm saying is that in your area, does that make sense? I'm sure there's a lot of security companies, or you know what I mean. Like there's or ambulance company. You know what I mean. Like I'm just trying to think. Like they're all part of the same family.
Yeah, we don't require you to be a PIO or a COP.
Oh, no, not at all.
You don't have to be in that position. You can be a patrol officer. You just need to have the heart to want to participate.
Yeah.
We have lots of officers who aren't in that public awareness role that come out and they volunteer.
Absolutely.
We have a lot of patrol officers.
A lot.
So
you have to start somewhere, because when I got involved, I think I was still an officer when I got involved, and then just kind of promoted up and kept
You're
being
welcome.
involved. Yeah. So I mean, honestly, if you're a law enforcement officer for any agency in the state, reach out to Elise, and we can find out if your department either has a liaison or if not, either how you can take on that role if you want to. It's fairly simple. But just how to get involved, we can do that, or we can direct you to whom within your agency is the liaison, because the goal is to have a liaison within every single department, so that every department has the opportunity to participate in some way.
Yeah, Southern Nevada is really great. We're only lacking a few agencies, and a lot of that has to do with capacity. In Northern Nevada, same situation. I mean, we even have engagement all the way in Elko County, which, by the way, is one of our most active law enforcement agencies. Is
This is
Elko
why
County.
I'm asking, right? Like in the different agencies that are that see this, right? That that they say, we want to become
100%. Reach out to me. I can
what
direct
I mean?
you.
Like,
If I'm not the right person for you to talk to
We'll
about
find
any given thing, I can direct you to the correct person.
Yeah.
I've been with Special Olympics for a long time, so I know all the people.
Yeah.
well, and I think that it's wonderful, because to be able to see the connection and be able to again have the same common ground. That we just want everyone to be able to live and have a great time and a great life, and people with special needs, that might have a disability, we still want to try to help, and I come back to the fact of free.
100%
Like,
free.
you know what I mean? Like and again, when it comes to how busy and things like that you are, that you take your time and volunteer so that, excuse me, so that people are can be better, is just wonderful, and it's just a testament. It's just a testament to where you are in your career and things of that nature. So
I mean, it is great, and it's nice when you can get other people in your agency as engaged, because eventually I won't be here, but I would feel much better leaving it to someone who cares about it and wants to carry on the torch.
that was good.
Yeah, and you know, to keep the program forward, and just talk about the torch run, just so people have a better understanding of what it is, because what it is that cops will get together. You're sponsored either through a corporation or through yourself, or not a corporation, but a local company or whatever can pay the entry fee for a group of officers to run. And then we all get together at the South Central Metro Command down by the Las Vegas sign with a group of athletes. And then we run down the strip and then back for 2.5 miles. 2.5 miles? Yeah.
Ish. It depends on construction
Right,
on that
it's a little-
given day.
Yeah, or if you got a political person flying in. So there's a lot of variations going on. But what we do, we get to run on the strip with some athletes, and it's all police officers being supported by police officers for traffic control. And then we come back and we hang out. And we have the Knights of Columbus always provide a fantastic little cookout for us. And again, it gives the officers a time to engage with some of the athletes or with each other. And that's another great part of the program too, is that as law enforcement officers, we all work for different departments. So we spend most of our time with our fellow officers because that's where we are. This gives you the opportunity to meet up with other police officers and talk and hang out. So it's beneficial in that sense too, because it helps with networking with other agencies. But then again, just
Camaraderie.
camaraderie, and getting together for with other cops, because you're there for a positive thing and you're all there to support the Special Olympics.
The run is the foundation. So the law enforcement torch run program started in 1981 in Wichita, Kansas.
Wow.
By a 40 over 40 running group of law enforcement officers. It was a Chief Lemunion. He's very well known within our community.
Yeah.
He started that, and it's now what started as that run, just a simple run to help raise money for Kansas Special Olympics, has now grossed what, $1 billion
yeah.
worldwide since 1981 to support all the all the Special Olympics programs around the world. So yeah, it's evolved quite a bit, but the core of it is still the run for public awareness and to show the athletes the support, and of course to raise them more funds to compete. And inclusion.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic, and I want people to be aware, and I want people to know on how great the Clark County School District Police is, and the people that work for them, and how they help and they do things that are outside of the law enforcement area, and this is something that's very important. And so it's really fantastic.
Yeah, don't sleep on community policing.
No.
Right. Yeah, it's very important.
It's huge.
And I know that it's one of the things that's really wonderful, because it's an outlet. It's an outlet for them to do wonderful things that they normally do every day, but just in a different capacity.
Right.
And so it's really fantastic.
Yeah.
I thank you very much for coming in today.
What's that website again?
Yeah, tell.
sonv.org.
Yes. And Lieutenant Zink, I can't thank you enough for all of what we do.
Yeah, it's great stuff.
We have stuff that we do at the end of the year too, and things like this. And so, if the business that I do can be one small little piece,
It's amazing help.
you know what I mean? Like we hope that all businesses, even if they got a couple $100 or something like this, that you do a lot of stuff at the end of the year with the Christmas gifts and things like this, and so there's always reason to be helping and stuff.
Oh,
like
absolutely. Any support for our community, if it's through us or through any of the other law enforcement or community service agencies, we just really appreciate it. And we appreciate the time that you give us to get up here and promote what we do to help not only ourselves but the community. So we're just really appreciative of it. So
yeah,
it's fantastic.
We got to keep doing it.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So, all right. So let's look at this camera right here, and then we're gonna wave goodbye. See you later.
Bye. See you next time.